The White House just held a disastrous press conference about the government shutdown. And it was something else. Let me walk you through what happened. I have got the receipts. Donald Trump chief propagandist Caroline Levitt took the stage. First, she started ranting about ending the so-called radical left region of terror in Portland. Then she said the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, will provide the troops to protect a war-ravaged Portland. I mean, these people sound completely unhinged. Here, watch this clip.
President Trump will end the radical left's reign of terror in Portland once and for all. The president has directed Secretary Hegseth to provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any ICE facilities under siege from attack by Antifa and other left-wing domestic terrorists.
This is exactly why Democrats needs to go on the offensive. Why question like this come up. A reporter brought up the Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries said Trump is basically in the presidential witness protection program. No one seen him, and he is not even speaking publicly about the government shutdown he caused. So, what's your response, Caroline? Roll the clip.
Question on the shutdown, Caroline. Hakeem Jeffries has said that President Trump is in the Presidential Witness Protection Program since the shutdown has begun. What's the White House's reaction to that?
That's just more ridiculous fodder from Hakeem Jeffries. As you all know, because you're here every day, the president is literally working around the clock right now. I think he has a swearing-in ceremony, or he already did. He has several meetings on the books today. He literally works 24/7. Anyone who works in this place or covers this place, as you all do, knows that to be true. And Hakeem Jeffries and the Senate Democrats should get back to work in a few minutes and vote to reopen the government.
Next, our reporter challenges Caroline Levitt with the actual facts that undocumented migrants are not eligible for Medicare, Medicaid, or coverage under the Affordable Care Act. Watch her response. She gets defensive, tries to deflect, and ends up saying about everything. Roll the clip.
Thank you. At the top of the briefing, you made a statement about that the Democrats are interested in giving health care to illegal immigrants.
Yes, they are.
U.S. law already prohibits that. It's a 1996 law saying that they cannot give unauthorized immigrants any federally subsidized health care coverage through Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, or the Children's Health Insurance Program. There seems to be a disconnect in the messaging.
Are you denying that Medicaid money has never gone to illegal aliens in the United States of America?
Next, our reporter presses Caroline Levitt about Donald Trump post where he called the government shutdown an incredible opportunity to lay off workers. He is even sharing AI-generated videos of Russ Vought as Grim Reaper gleefully firing government employees. It really seemed like Trump is enjoying the chaos. And Caroline Levitt's response, she admitted he likes to have some fun. Seriously, why this clip?
And you just said this is an unenviable choice, that this is an unfortunate consequence, but the president has described this as an unprecedented opportunity to lay off additional workers. He's posted a video likening Russ Vought to the Grim Reaper. So which is this? Is this an opportunity to fire more workers or an unfortunate consequence?
Look, the president likes to have a little fun every now and then, and I think both things can be true at the same time. The Democrats have given the administration this opportunity, and we don't like laying people off. Nobody takes joy in that around here, and if you think that, then I think that's very sad. You view the White House and our staff as wanting to put people out of work. Nobody wants to do that, but sometimes in government you have to make tough decisions. Carrie.
He likes to have some fun? That's what they say while talking about stripping Americans of healthcare, shutting down the government, and inflicting real financial pain on the country. He finds that fun? Then a reporter follows up. If he really cares about the healthcare, what about his promise to mandate insurance coverage for IVF service? Remember, Trump called himself the king of IVF. He is signed plenty of executive orders, but not a single one has required insurance companies to cover IVF. Yet another empty promise. Why this clip?
Well, Christian.
Yeah, thanks, Caroline. Following up on Libby, sort of on the other side of the abortion debate, has the president abandoned his campaign pledge to mandate insurance coverage for IVF services?
No.
Was there any update on that? We flew by that May EO deadline for the White House to produce a plan.
I literally just read a statement from the Health and Human Services on for Libby at least, as far as IVF goes. I'll check in with our policy team and we'll get you some updates.
And then on Russia, how concerned is the White House that the Russian Navy seems to be escalating?
Then a reporter asked Caroline Levitt a very important question. Is it the administration position that if an undocumented immigrant is injured or dying, they should not be allowed into a emergency room, that they should just die? She responds, no, but immediately. First, she goes on to say the real issue is that undocumented migrants should not be here at all. And that's why, according to her, we need comprehensive migration reform. She talks about creating a pathway to citizenship for those who are working, paying taxes, and contributing, with also emphasizing that those involved in criminal activities should face justice or deportation. Her answer shifts the focus entirely. Common sense solution. She says, but you decided why this clip.
Thank you, Caroline. Two things. First, to follow up on something you said earlier about hospitals treating undocumented or illegal aliens. Is it the administration's position that hospitals should not have to treat people who come into the emergency department who are not here legally?
No, that's not our position. Our position is that it's completely unacceptable that the Biden administration paroled and encouraged an invasion of tens of millions of illegal aliens into our country and then promised them free health care. And the Democrats are on the record repeatedly stating that they believe illegal aliens should have health care benefits, free health care benefits in the United States of America. So that is a recipe for a disaster. Of course, you're going to encourage a mass illegal invasion of our country, which is exactly what happened. And we've seen the unfortunate consequence of that, where American patients are being put last, where American patients are having to wait in wait rooms, where grandmothers and grandfathers are waiting hours and hours for care because they're being put behind the line to illegal aliens. And we don't agree with that. We don't support that. That's why the administration is desperately trying to fix it and deport the tens of millions of illegal aliens that the Democrats and the Biden administration allowed into our country. And we'd love to continue doing that work so long as the federal government is reopened. And there are many federal law enforcement agents and officers right now who are working without pay. That's unacceptable. The Democrats need to reopen the United States government, and we hope that they will do the right thing on the Senate floor in just a few moments. Thank you, everyone.
Next up, Caroline Levitt takes a question, and this one is a wild. It comes from some right-wing trained podcaster they somehow let into the White House briefing room. And honestly, this is becoming more common. This is what the press corps is starting to look like under Trump and Republicans. The question, so will Donald Trump let Hispanic have a fiesta on the White House lawn? What are we even talking about? Why this absurd moment for yourself? Play the clip.
Is everybody yelling in the back? Go ahead. Sure.
Thank you. Bianca Gracia here, and I have a question. This week, the Democrats have chosen illegals over hard-working Hispanic Americans during Hispanic Heritage Month, causing the White House to cancel the celebration with the president. Is the president open to letting the Hispanics, who overwhelmingly voted for him, have their own siesta fiesta in the White House lawn opposed to the fancy, we don't need fancy, right? We can give us the backyard and we'll fill it all in and have in our own fiesta. Is the president open to that?
I had no idea she was going to ask that question. I just want to preface that. I've never met you. I just want to say that, but welcome to the briefing room. I love your energy. I can't personally unilaterally promise the South Lawn grounds. We have some construction going on out there, but I know that everyone here views it as very unfortunate we had to cancel or hopefully just reschedule the Hispanic American Heritage Month event, and it's because we are working around the clock during this government shutdown. When the Democrats vote to reopen the government, that event will be back in the planning stages.
Another reporter asked, would the administration define what makes a Democrat agency? Her answer, if an agency does not support his policies, it's a Democrat agency and it will be destroyed by Donald Trump. That's unprecedented in America history. A regime essentially declaring that believing in climate science, free speech, diversity, or education make you a partisan target to be dismantled. Why this alarming exchange? Play the clip.
Kelly.
How would this administration define what makes a Democrat agency, which agencies, and what constitutes being a Democrat agency?
I think this administration has been very clear, Kelly, that we're not going to tolerate waste, fraud, and abuse in our government. And we've also been very clear to point out when agencies or when programs do not align with this administration's values of putting our country first. You've seen that with USAID and in various other cases where there's been cuts made or funding has been slashed. And so, again, unfortunately, we're having to do a massive review of the bureaucracy to be good stewards of the American taxpayer dollar. And it's the Democrats who have forced the White House and the president into this position by voting to shut the government down.
Next, our reporter asked Caroline Levitt, what's going on? Has the president declared war on international drug cartels? This came after Pete Hexel posted yet another dramatic video, this time a small boat being shot down. So, what's the explanation, Caroline? Her response, that's his authority, our commander-in-chief. So, we are just at war now. Watch this clip.
Thank you, Caroline. Has the president declared war on international drug cartels? And if so, or if he will, does he feel he needs congressional approval?
As the White House has said many times, the president has directed these actions, these strikes against Venezuelan drug cartels and these boats, consistent with his responsibility to protect the United States interests abroad and in furtherance of the U.S. national security and foreign policy interests. This is pursuant to his constitutional authority as commander-in-chief and the chief executive to conduct foreign relations. In each of these cases, Michael, the vessels have been assessed by the U.S. intelligence community to be affiliated with designated terrorist organizations engaged at the time in trafficking illicit drugs to our country. The president has been very clear, dating back to the campaign trail, that he is always going to do what's in the best interest of the American homeland. And he also promised the American people he was going to end the drug epidemic that has taken far too many American lives. And you're seeing those actions play out almost every single day here.
Last question on the shutdown.
Next, our reporter asked, you have said the pending layoff are necessary to keep essential service running, but why are you firing employees instead of furlough them? In past shutdowns, people were not actually fired. Listen to how Caroline Levitt responded. Play this clip.
Barry.
Thanks, Caroline. 2 questions on the shutdown. You've argued that these impending layoffs are necessary to keep essential services up and running, but that has never been the case in any previous shutdown. Even when the government was shut down for 35 days in Trump's first term, you've never had to lay off thousands of workers to keep essential services up and running. So why are layoffs now necessary in this shutdown?
Because we have an administration and we have a president who are wholeheartedly focused on restoring fiscal sanity to our government and doing the right thing by the American taxpayer. We are $37 trillion in debt, and the federal government is currently shut down. There is no more money coming into the federal government's coffers. And as you've also seen since the beginning, in January, this administration is focusing on waste, fraud, and abuse. And so Democrats have given this administration an unenviable choice to have to take a look at the balance sheet and identify where these cuts and layoffs can be made.
And you just said
That's what she calls fiscal sanity. Meanwhile, they have already unlawfully fired huge number of government employees, and now they want to use shutdown as an excuse to dismantle the government entirely. Then, Peter Dorsey asked Caroline Levitt about Bad Bunny performing at the NFL halftime show. Mega supporters are acting like Puerto Rico is not part of United States, and they are threatening to send IC agents after undocumented migrants who like Bad Bunny. Let's to her response here. Play this clip.
Just because there's so much shutdown talk, something different. What do you guys think about the NFL's decision to name Bad Bunny as the Super Bowl halftime performer, somebody who has not scheduled shows in the U.S. because he says that he's worried that ICE is going to come and arrest his fans?
Well, look, I know there are many in this room who are very anxious to hear the president's response to Bad Bunny being the halftime show, so I won't get ahead of him. I won't reveal what he feels about this. Next time you all ask him a question, you're welcome to do that. I have my own feelings on that, but that's not what I'm up here to talk about. As far as ICE being at the Super Bowl, as far as I'm aware, there's no tangible plan for that in store right now. However, of course, this administration is always going to arrest and deport illegal immigrants when we find them. If they are criminals, we're going to do the right thing by our country.
No, I have to give credit to Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries. While Caroline was having the press conference, he was not falling for the White House bet. He stayed focused, saying, first of all, where is Donald? Where is right now? He emphasized standing up for all Americans. Democrats, Republicans, and Independents alike watch this clip.
Which is why we've been very clear. We're fighting for everyone. And the reality is, the dramatic increases in healthcare premiums that the American people are about to experience, some are connected to the Affordable Care Act tax subsidies and tax credits that Republicans are unwilling to renew in states like Virginia, a purple state, in states like Idaho and Georgia. These are red states. So is your question, we shouldn't be fighting for the people of Georgia and Idaho who are about to experience dramatically increased healthcare costs? Is that not a good fight for us to wage? We're standing up for Republican constituents because Republicans won't stand up for their own constituents. But this is everyone in America. Everyone in America is suffering because of the cost of living crisis caused by Donald Trump's failed policies, and everyone in America is suffering from the Republican healthcare crisis.
And I have got to give credit to Democrat Congress member Rokana, who went on Fox and delivered a strong message. Here's what he had to say. Play this clip.
So, but the question is, in the past you've passed this CR, and I understand that these Obamacare extensions are going to run out at the end of the year. And that's why this issue is in front of everyone at this time. But what you're hearing from Senator Thune is let's pass the funding of the government so we can reopen everything. And then let's have some, firm commitments that you're going to take on and grapple with this issue. Because obviously, if that many people lose access to some of their health care, it's going to reflect on both parties, right?
Yeah, but my sense to Senator Thune is you have the votes. You pass it. But if you want Democratic votes...
Only if they abandon the filibuster. Maybe you would, it sounds like that's what you're hoping
have
for.
Abandoned. Yes, and they have abandoned the filibuster to confirm Trump's appointees. They have abandoned the filibusters to confirm Trump's judges. So why can't they abandon the filibuster to pass a budget? Now they want Democratic votes. Well, Democrats aren't going to go along with tax breaks for billionaires while 24 million Americans have their premiums go up, almost double. And we're not going to go along with the Medicaid cuts. If you want to get the votes, there's no one in America, Martha, who believes that the Democrats are in charge. I mean, Donald Trump has been so successful. He brags about his big victories in the House and the Senate. Everyone knows that he's controlling government. In fact, too much. So the argument to blame Democrats, that was plausible maybe in his first term when Nancy Pelosi was speaker. But you have Johnson, Thune, and Trump. No one in America believes it. He can get this open tomorrow. And if he wants Democrats' votes, he should get health care.